live program for the PTW 10 critical, 10 critical things every safety officer must check. So every safety officer must check the 10 critical things. So there are so many things are there, but the critical things is important. When you are, being a safety professional, you have to think about the various form of the safety measures. It's important. When you are following the safety measures, then only you can protect the people, protect the environment, protect the all scenarios. So the permit to work system is always important because it's a type of control. We can say this is a type of control. The control bringing the people to be successful. So that's why we have a permit to work system. This permit to work system is always a keen for high risk jobs. The high risk job is always it's a very important to avoid any kind of accidents. So the accidents and incidents are happening because of the high risk jobs. The high risk jobs always hot works, cold works, electrical works, mechanical works. These all the works are mainly require a lot of control measures. These control measures makes the accident prevention. It's a proactive safety measure. The accident prevention in highly potential risk industries, oil and gas, and mechanical industry, electrical industry, manufacturing industry, chemical industry, process industry, where the high risk jobs are there. These high risk jobs always making the accidents. So to avoid accidents, incidents in the industries, there is a control, planned control measure is called the permit to work system, PTW. So the permit to work system is applicable for all kinds of industry for the specialized jobs. The specialized jobs are hot works, welding, gasketing, grinding, then cold work. So the lot of the highly we can say temperature less than 0 degree temperature or minus degree temperature cold work in winter climates. So that's also we can say confined space, electrical work, excavations, working at height, and we can have a lot of line breaking. So these are the works coming into a highly potential risk jobs. So these highly potential risk jobs required a permit to work system. So that's why the permit to work system, 10 critical things every safety officer must know. Every safety officer must check. Every safety officer must check in permit to work system. What are the things you can check? Because first one is the correct permit type. So what kind of permit you are issuing, that's important. Because once you are telling that there is a permit needs to be issued, simply you cannot give the permit. Simply when you are giving the permit, it's not a professional safety officer duty to do. So a professional, he has to think whether it's a hard work, whether it's a cold work, whether it's a confined space work, whether it's a electrical work, whether it's excavation work, whether working at height or line breaking. Based on this, you have to give the correct permit for. There is a rules and regulation for the correct permit is required. For hard work, the permit system is different, but some other jobs, the permit system is different. So the safety officer must know the correct permit type, which type it's applicable, what are the conditions it's applicable. That safety officer must know it. Then scope of work. So scope of work means how the safety officer know the scope of the work. That is important. Sometimes vaguely you cannot give the permit to work system. Hurriedly you cannot give the permit to work system. You have to give the permit to work system based on the scope of the work. Which scope of the work? You have to know the what will be the performed. What work will be the performed. So work, you must know the work conditions. So and also where the tag number, equipment tag number, and then work boundary, start and the expiry date, start time and the expiry time. So these are the things first safety officer, he has to realize, then only he has to give the permit. Without this, you cannot give the permit to work. So these are the scope of work, these are the conditions you must fulfill, because you have to know where work to be performed, what work to be performed, and what is the equipment, what is the target date, what will be the work boundary, and when it's going to be start, when it's going to be close. This is the scope of work. This scope of work must be known by the permit to work system. When you are giving permit to work system, the safety officer must critically know this one. Then third one, hazard identification, risk assessments. So you have to verify before giving the permit to work system. You have to verify whether the permit to work system followed the hazard identification, risk assessment for that particular job. So the particular job is important. When you are giving permit to work system, there must be a risk assessments. There must be a hazard identification. So when you are receiving the hazard identification, when you are receiving the risk assessment, then only you have to decide you can give the permit to work system. Because the permit to work system the safety officer must know what are the hazards involved in that work. What are the risk control involved in that work. These things the safety officer critically he must know. Then only he can decide whether it's whether proper risk assessment done or not, or proper hazard identification done or not. He has to verify their procedures. Once they verify, then only he has to give. If they didn't done proper hazard identification risk assessment, they can easily ask them to go and do the risk assessment and come again. These things the safety officer they can tell to the client, whoever, whether contractor or third party, whoever it may be. Then fourth one, isolation and LOTO. Isolation, LOTO means what is LOTO? LOTO means log out, tag out method for the isolation of energy and doing the maintenance for mechanical people, for electrical people, and all kind of maintenance people. So in that safety officers must know before giving the permit to work system, whether the isolation of energy done for this work, for electrical permit to work, for hydraulic permit to work system, for mechanical permit to work system, and any kind of these system must follow the LOTO, then only they have to give the permit to work system. These things critically every safety officer must know it. Then fifth one, gas testing. Gas testing, because the most of the time permit to work system should not be a only paper type or just in the paper. You have to check it. Safety officer must check it. For example, the gas testing must be done, before permit to work system implemented. So whether the proper gas system, whether toxic gases are there or any, the gas explosion gases are there, these things through checking, the safety officers must know it. So gas testing also very important. Every safety officer must know it, because without doing the gas testing, sometimes toxic gases will emit and explosion may be happen. Whether proper gases are there and the valves are safety valves properly working or not, that the position is good, this ventilation is okay. So this everything checked, then only for gas testing, after that only he has to give the permit to work system. Then competent authorized personnel. So safety officer must check when they are giving the permit to work system whether the persons are competent to do the job. One person is doing the gas cutting, one person is doing the welding, the another person is doing the grinding. So the safety officer has to check whether he is an authorized person and also he is the competent person in welding. He has to check the certificate, whether he has the welding certificate or not, or he is having the experience. And gas cutter means he is having the gas cutting certificate or he is having the experience, and also he is an authorized person for that industry to do that job. This has to be checked by the safety officer. So then required control and PPE. These also checked by the what kind of control required and what are the PPEs required for that permit to work system. That has to be checked by the safety officer. Control means if somewhere in the company they are going to do the welding, so he has to give the permit to work system. So in that case, he has to check whether all the fencing is there and then the proper setting is there, and also the control measures in case of fire. Control measures are the fire extinguisher, fire extinguishing system. It's available, and the PPEs, the welding laborers or welding workers, they are having all the mandatory PPEs, face shield, the helmet, glass, goggles, safety boot. These things, all the things are there or not, that he has to check. Safety officer must check. Then emergency response. So the emergency response in case of the permit to work system request company applying, whether that company, a third party company applying for PTW. So the safety officer must check they have an emergency response procedure with them in case of fire, in case of accident, in case of major injury. What is the course of action? What will be the emergency response? That safety officer must check. And then communication and authorization. So the safety officer is one of the main person to give the communication for all the third parties, whoever involved the permit to work system. So the safety officer to communicate the permit to work system, how it works, when starts, when ends, and he has to elaborate to the third party who is going to get the permit to work system. So the safety officer prime responsibility also to give the communication to all the third parties, make sure everything communicated, safety procedures and start and close out times, everything safety officer has to communicate and give the authorization. Say, okay, everything okay. So I'm already checked everything. Then you can proceed for the work. That communication to be done by safety officer. Then 10th one. So validity of the site, and close out the permit validity for the site and close out. This also checked by the safety officer. So you have to tell them, we have given permit for 1 day from the morning 9 o'clock to evening 5 o'clock. So the close out time is 5 o'clock. So you have to close it before 5 and sign everything you have to clear and close out and give it to me. So that thing safety officer has to communicate, and once he has to monitor permit properly closed as per the time and the site properly cleared, and also the system checkout done, everything over, checkout done, that should be made sure by safety officer. So these are the 10 critical things every safety officer must check. Who has to check? Safety officer must check. These 10 critical things he has to check. So what are the 10 things? Correct permit type. Number 2, scope of work. Number 3, hazard identification, risk assessment. Number 4, isolation and LOTO. Number 5, gas testing. Number 6, competent and authorized person. Number 7, required control and PPE. Number 8, emergency and rescue managements. And number 9, the authorization, communication and authorization. Number 10, checkout, permit validity, site clearance and checkout for the 10th time. So this all the things makes a safety officer the critical checks. These all safety officers critical checks, because the safety officer role is very, very important. When we have a this is the site. So PTW has to be issued. So this area we can say welding. Safety officer check. So the safety officer, what are the things he has to check? He has to check about the 10 things, 10 critical things he has to check. So in this 10, we can say scope of work, then emergency, maybe points may be vary. Communication, emergency, communication, scope of work, LOTO, then competent competent, then required PPE, control and PPE, then authorization, communication are already there, authorization, last one close out, site clearance. So here PPE, then authorization, what else? HSE, ninth one, risk assessments and hazard identification. So these are all the things he has to check from this starting. So we can say eighth one, we can say on permit to work system. For what he is applying. It starts with the what he is applying for, which different type of what questions, what, where he has to apply for permit to system, PTW. Then scope of the work, then emergency communication, LOTO, then competent person, PPE, authorization, then risk and hazard identification, site clearance, and closing the permit to work system. So these are all the things he has to check by the critical check by the safety officer. So these are all the things required before giving the authorization of PTW. When the work starting time, when he is giving the permission, from that up to close out and site clearance, he has to check. This all critical check must be done by safety officer. So these are the 10 valid things. We can say 10 valid things. So here may be welding going on, gasketing there, grinding there, so welding, gasketing, grinding, these all the things, these are the 10 critical things every safety officers must check, whether in the oil and gas industry. So mainly the oil and gas industry, they are doing this permit to work system. So the safety officer very proactive in this to check all these things. So that is the end of our permit to work system, 10 critical things every safety officer must check. I hope you understand. You have any questions in this? You just give a comment. I'll try to answer for again. So that is our today's training. So tomorrow we have a paid training, 29th, 8th, 26th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. paid training, 1,000 rupees per Indian rupees per person. You can join it. When you are sending the WhatsApp message, I will share the link once you paid. So the risk assessments training tomorrow, don't miss it. It's totally a good understanding about the risk assessments. You can easily understand the step by step for risk assessment. It is one of the valid one. When you are a safety officer, you must know the risk assessments. So still subscribe the channel, subscribe it, share it, like it. You can recommend to the friends. You can utilize the experiences the lot of HSE shorts, HSE videos are available in our channel, HSE Mindset channel. Go through it. Definitely you will get a lot of information. You can enhance your safety career. So thank you very much for watching. We will see you next live programs. Thank you very much.